If you can do that and not have to worry about it and know your sound, know you have a great game plan, then you enjoy. Then you have a better life. You're not stressed. Your health's better and everything else goes right along with it.
If a person can actually get that into their mind and they can create that wealth plan and create that financial security for the future, knowing that they get that holy grail is getting to that point where they do what they do on a daily basis because that's what they want to do, I'll tell you what, the feeling is amazing.
Starting your route to retirement.
Welcome to the Guided Retirement Show. I'm your host, Dean Barber. Today, special guest Jeremiah Johnson. He is Managing Director of Modern Wealth Management in Glidden, Iowa. Jeremiah and I are going to tackle the question, what is wealth management and how do you create a secure financial future? Please enjoy my conversation with Jeremiah Johnson. Jeremiah Johnson, Managing Director of Modern Wealth Management in Glidden, Iowa. Welcome to the Guided Retirement Show. Great to have you here.
Thanks, Dean. Glad to be here.
You know, there's this term wealth management that is becoming more and more prevalent. And, you know, back in the day, used to call it financial planner. Now we're talking about wealth management. A lot of people think that wealth management is just about the management of money. But from your perspective, Jeremiah, when you hear the term wealth management, what do you want people to understand?
Well, Dean, you hit on the head there. A wealth manager takes a look at everything, right? Not just an investment asset that you're, a 401k, an IRA. It's how you're saving it. Is it a Roth? Is it an IRA? Is it a 401k? Is it taxes, life insurance? Really everything. I think I joked with you a little bit before we started the call. It's, pretty much everything minus a marriage counselor is what a wealth manager should be doing for you.
So if you're talking to somebody, Jeremiah, and here at Modern Wealth, we really specialize in helping people get to and through retirement, and hence the Guided Retirement Show. Somebody comes to you and they say, Jeremiah, how should I invest my money? I'm 60 years old. I'm going to retire in 5 years. What should I be doing with my money? How do you discover that? How do you get to a point where you can tell that individual how they should be managing their money?
Well, you have to bring it in and look at all the different pieces, right? Do we have any debt? What's our goals? Like, if I don't know what your goals are, I have no idea how we should try to invest your dollars. Some people need to have more risk in their portfolio because they have higher goals, right? That they need more performance. Some people don't need to really take any risk if they didn't want to with their portfolio because, they've saved more and maybe their goals are less. So there really isn't a cookie cutter scenario for an individual. It's going to be to each their own. Your own individual portfolio is what you need to have in order to make your own goals. Don't compare yourself to Sue and Joe down the road. It's just going to be you and your individual goals, and that's how we need to determine how you're going to invest your dollars.
When you think about wealth management, what seems to be really interesting to me is when you think about ultra wealthy people, let's say 10 million and above. Most people I think that are either watching us on YouTube or listening to us on their favorite podcast app would say, if I got 10 million or above, I'm very wealthy. I feel very confident, right? So right. I know people that have more than $10 million. I've got clients that have got more than $10 million. And I know that those people, they have an attorney. They have a CPA. They have an insurance expert. They have a banker. And they've got an investment manager, and in some cases, more than one. And what that individual thinks of as wealth management is having that team of individuals come together and work on behalf of that individual so that they can then be confident that they've left no stone unturned, that they're doing everything right, which gives them freedom from financial worry, ultimately giving them the time to do what they want to do, the things that are important to them. And I think that you don't have to have $10 million. If you got $500,000, if you got $1 million, if you got, whatever it is, it's your money. But you should expect that wealth management includes all of those different components so that you can do exactly that, so that you can be confident that you haven't missed anything, free from financial worry, time to do the things that you want to do. To me, that encapsulates true wealth management. But the vast majority of people believe that a wealth manager, Jeremiah Johnson, he works for Modern Wealth. Oh, he just manages my money. And nothing could be further from the truth. Is that correct?
100%. I mean, I don't get a lot of the clients that, are super nervous about retirement. Some, yes, but not all of them. I just had a call with a client that lives in the town where my sister's from, and they're very successful, have plenty of money to do whatever they want to do. And that was her first comment. He goes, I don't know if I'm going to have enough money. And we went through their goals, and I go, there is no way you're ever going to have an issue. But she's still, at the end of the call, she goes, I'm still nervous. And the husband laughs. He goes, he knows they're fine, but she is completely worried about not having enough money. So by us going through that financial plan, showing all the tax planning, the legal piece that they don't have done yet that they need to have done, that's some of the things that we were trying to help them with, is to show them how all the things that we're capable of doing as a wealth manager, not just you have an account, you invest, because that's what they have right now. They have a client, or they have an agent. They're just investing their money. They don't look at tax planning. They've got millions of dollars in IRAs, and last year their income was $30,000. They missed the boat.
Yeah, they did.
On that piece of the fence. I'm like, we talked with Corey on our tax team. He goes, he kind of hit himself in the head. He goes, we missed an opportunity, that we weren't their advisor last year. That's something we're definitely going to be able to help them with. And they need it. They need to be pushed to get it done, or if it's water on the bridge. They missed the opportunity.
Yeah, I think what's interesting is when you start thinking about wealth management, all of those components that we talk about, the estate plan, the tax plan, the risk management plan, the investment plan, they're all intertwined, and a decision on one impacts the other three. And so if you don't have somebody that's coordinating all of those subject matter experts together, which is what you do as the wealth manager, you're not putting on all the hats, doing all the work, but you're the quarterback. You're the one putting it all together and making sure that person can have the confidence that everything's been looked at and everything's been addressed. And the whole idea of the person that you're just talking about being nervous about having enough money, it's perfectly normal.
Common. Right? It's common.
It is normal. It doesn't matter how much money a person has. It's this whole idea that I'm going to go from earning money to then asking my money to work for me and to deliver the income and to do it with as little tax as possible, and whatever's left over that it passes as smooth as possible and with as little tax as possible to the next generation. That's what you have to focus on. And once you kind of uncover all of those things, and maybe you've got farmland, maybe you've got a pension, maybe you've got other sources of income, royalties or whatever, rents, that all comes into play for you to be able to come in and design the plan that gives them the highest probability of success in doing what they really want to do.
100%. And you talked a little bit about quarterback. I'm going to go with the safety because I play defense. So the safety is the one that calls the shots on the defensive side. The plan is to have somebody coordinate it. And you got a CPA over here, you got an attorney over here, you got a financial advisor over there, but it's not true wealth management. You're just getting a one-trick pony from each of those 3 or 4 different entities, and they don't talk to each other. That you're not doing what you should be doing as a wealth planner. You need to be doing those things, or you're not servicing a client the way you should be.
Yeah. And so, when you think about you as a wealth manager, our firm, Modern Wealth Management, and our objective, it's to help people build a life that is free from worry, something that they know that they've got confidence that, they can go do all the things that they want. So what you're talking about is critical, but I want to relate it to something else. And you're talking about all these different people working together, the subject matter experts. I think when somebody goes into retirement, Jeremiah, they become the CEO of their own retirement. In other words, they're the ones that have the clarity of what they want their life to look like. But imagine a CEO that knew what he wanted the business to do, but he didn't communicate with his chief financial officer. He didn't communicate with his chief legal officer. He didn't communicate with his chief tax officer. And he just expected that they would know what he wanted them to do in order to reach the corporate goals. In a sense, that's like somebody that's going into retirement that hasn't clearly communicated to the wealth planner, the wealth advisor, here's what I want my life to look like. Here's what I want to do. This is where I want to spend my time. This is how much I want to spend on travel. This is how much I want to leave behind. Here's my objectives. And then your job as the wealth advisor is to then bring in the attorney, the CPA, the risk management expert, the investment experts, all to actually combine that, put it together so that that individual's retirement dreams come true.
And by doing that, what you just talked about is going to take off the stress, or like the individual I was talking about, the worry, and then you can actually enjoy your retirement. So you don't have to worry about, did I get my taxes prepared correctly, or did I take advantage of the current tax laws before they change in 2 years or something to that effect. So that's the biggest part about having a team on your side to get those things done, is so you can be the CEO that's out playing golf or whatever they want to do, right? You're your own driver, they're your bus. So by having those things taken care of, you don't have to do them. You don't have to worry about them. You know what's going to be done, and know you have a team approach, because there isn't one person that can do all those things, right? If there's one person that's doing all 5 of those things, probably not going to do them all well. They might do them okay, but they're not going to do them well. If you have individualized teams, or the people that are working directly for you on each of those levels, it's just going to make you a better overall financial plan, have your goals more clear, and make sure you're on track to do the things you want to do.
And to me, I think that's what everybody is looking for. And look, we talk about getting people to and through retirement. And I think we use the term retirement loosely sometimes, to where some people will say, well, I don't necessarily know that I want to retire. And so I think we rephrase that, Jeremiah, and say, it's really all about creating financial independence, so that if you're in a position where you know that you're going to get up tomorrow morning and you're going to do whatever you want to do because it's what you want to do, and it's no longer about earning a paycheck. That's financial independence. You know that you've got enough money saved, you've tackled the tax issues, the estate planning issues, you've got the risk management issues covered, and you know that you can go do whatever you want to do, and it's no longer about the paycheck. Now, if it happens to be that you make money doing what you want to do on a daily basis, great. But if you ever change your mind and say, I want to go do something different tomorrow, you can do it because you're financially independent. So I kind of prefer that term to just saying retirement, because, people like me, for an example, I don't know that I'm built for retirement. I like doing what I'm doing every day. Do I have to do it? No, but it's what I want to do. And so if a person can actually get that into their mind, and they can create that wealth plan and create that financial security for the future, knowing that they get that holy grail is getting to that point where they do what they do on a daily basis because it's what they want to do, I'll tell you what, the feeling is amazing.
Right. And you kind of said exactly what, Dad, or Brian Johnson in our office, does as well. He's 66 years old today. Does he have to work? Probably not. He enjoys what he does. He loves helping people and making sure they're financially independent as well. And if you don't like what you do, you don't work a day in your life, or how does that ever go?
If you love what you do, you're not working.
You don't work a day in your life,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So, that's really what you're trying to get towards, is if you're still working a little bit, doing some things you want to do, that's fine. But are you financially independent? Great. Accumulation mode is during work. Now you're on distribution mode or tax planning on the backside of the fence, which is, probably is as important as accumulation as how we distribute it, or where we end up getting those dollars after you are retired or during retirement.
Yeah. And there are some triggers and some things that happen at certain ages where, if you're not planning for those in advance, you can have some real aha moments where maybe there's way more money going off to Uncle Sam than what you ever anticipated. But really putting that plan together and doing the true wealth management helps you avoid all of those things. And I'll say this too, Jeremiah, that I think wealth management means something different to somebody in their 30s, 40s, 50s than it does to somebody in their 60s, 70s, or 80s. There's a huge paradigm shift that takes place from a psychological standpoint, and there's also rules that are drastically different when you're in your accumulation phase than when you're in your distribution phase. And so if you don't understand the difference in those rules, that's whenever bad mistakes start to happen and you wind up costing yourself dearly.
Right. I mean, if you don't know, when your required minimum distributions are supposed to come out, or annuities, or any of those income streams have to start, you get surprised. And it's surprising how many people that don't understand how those work. But we work with that every day, right? That's our world. If I talk to an engineer, I have no idea how to turn a computer on or fix it. They look at me like I'm silly, right? I look, that's my job, is to help those people understand, and your job to help those people understand how those rules are going to affect them and things that may change, right? Taxes may change. They've changed RMDs 3 times the age in the last 5 years. Who knows what they take that to, Social Security, et cetera. So we just have to, go with the changes that are thrown at us as those things are presented to us, because things are going to change between now and the day me and you aren't here. Those rules are probably going to change more than once.
And you know what I call that? Every time Congress gets together and they start changing those rules, I call that the CFP and CPA Full Employment Act, because we have to digest all of the complex rules and the changes in those rules so that we can help people apply those rules to their own personal situation, as a good wealth manager should, making sure, again, that they're confident that they've covered everything, leaving them free from worry so that they can actually have the time to do the things that are most important in their life.
Right. I mean, the time, I think, is the biggest thing. You went from working for you or for someone else to working for yourself, or being your own financial CEO and doing your own thing. And if you can do that and not have to worry about it, and know you're sound, know you have a great game plan, then you enjoy. Then you have a better life. You're not stressed. Your health's better, and everything else goes right along with it.
So let's wrap it up by saying this, Jeremiah. If you're working with somebody who you think is a wealth advisor, and they only ever talk to you about your investments, or if that's the first thing that somebody wants to talk to you about when you approach them for retirement planning or whatever you're looking for, and all they want to talk about is investments, you're not talking to a real financial planner. You're not talking to a wealth manager. You're talking to a product salesperson, and you need to get up and leave and find somebody like Jeremiah Johnson.
100%, Dean. I mean, it's just the what you should be doing, right? You want to get yourself the best opportunity. You need to be looking at all those things, not just here's my investments. That's a big part of it, right? I mean, that's a huge piece of it, but it's not the whole world, right? It's just one sliver of that piece of pie that you need to be paying attention to.
Right. And there's really no way that you can tell a person how they should have their money invested until you know everything about their financial life and what it is that they want to accomplish.
100%. You can't do that day one. I mean, that might not even be in the first year that you'd get all those things taken care of. It's one bite at a time, right? It's a slow process to get all those things taken care of, but you need to do it. Otherwise you're leaving some things on the table.
Yeah. One of the things that I think I have observed on my nearly 40 years of doing this is that nobody has ever said, I came to see you too soon. It's always the opposite of that. I wish I would have known this 5 years ago. I wish I would have known this. I wish I would have found you 10 years ago. So, and when people actually experience what true wealth management is for the first time, it's a real eye-opening experience for people.
And I tell younger clients that all the time. They come in, I'm too young for this. I go, you're a heck of a lot better off starting this at 30 years old than you are, I'm retiring tomorrow when I'm 62. Because you could have been doing 100 different things between A and B to set yourself up better for where you get to now. And now you have to react.
Yep.
We want to be ahead of the game, not on the reaction mode.
I agree with you 100%. Jeremiah, I really appreciate you taking time to join me here on the Guided Retirement Show. Thanks again for your time.
Thanks, Dean.
Thanks again for joining us here on the Guided Retirement Show. I'm your host, Dean Barber, along with Jeremiah Johnson. Hopefully you enjoyed our content. If you did, make sure that you subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube, and share this with your friends.
Starting your route to retirement.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to leave a comment and share this episode with your friends.
Investment advisory services offered through Modern Wealth Management, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.